G'day Year 8, welcome back to another maths video. Today we're taking GST to the next level and we're going on an overseas adventure to make up for the lack of overseas holidays that we're going to be having in the near future. We're going to be looking at what is GST like in other countries. Now in Australia, as we've already talked about, GST or VAT is just 10%, which makes calculations much easier. It's much easier dealing with numbers that are 10%. But in other countries, their GST rates and their VAT rates are different. So you can see here's a list of different countries. We've got countries like Belgium, which have a GST rate of 21%. You can see here in most of these countries, the GST is higher, so they have a higher tax on their goods and services. Now, this may not mean that taxes are generally higher. They might have less tax on other things like property and income, etc., or they might have more too. But you can see here, Switzerland is one example of a country that has a GST of less than 10%. But this makes calculations a little different. So today we're going to be looking at how do we calculate the pre-GST, the post-GST, the including GST, the price without GST for different GST rates. So let's look at these first examples here. We're going to calculate the VAT, which is the same as GST, on a watch listed at Australian dollars 650 in these countries. Okay, so it's going to be in Italy. We need to find out what the percentage rate is in Italy. And we can see here, Italy is 22%. Okay, so we need to find out what 22% of 650 is. So to find out for part A, we're just going to do 22 over 100 times by our number 650 here. And that will find us what 20% is. The other way that we could write this is we can just write 22 and then go shift percent and then go times 650. That is the same as 22 over 100 times 650. And so we get our value here. This is what the GST or the VAT is going to be on that item. Okay, in Luxembourg, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to do 15% times 650. Okay, so we can just go back and change our percentage here on our calculator, and we get our new value, which is 97. And then lastly, South Africa has a VAT rate of 14%. So we can just change that number very slightly to 14, and we get $91 exactly. So 14% of 650 equals $91. So if you were then to find out the post-GST price, it would be 650 plus whatever this value that we've calculated is. Again, GST, VAT, same difference. Okay, now let's look at some slightly trickier examples. We're going to use the unitary method to find the amount of VAT included in the cost of a smartphone priced at $625. So in this instance, we've already got GST or VAT included in our price, and we need to find out what it was, or how much of that cost is the VAT. So in Belgium, we have a rate of 21%. So if this price is already including GST, then that means 121% is going to equal that cost. Okay, that is what 121% is going to be, because we've already added that 21% on to get 625. And we want to find out what just the GST price is. So we want to find out what just 21% is. okay? Now the way that we're going to do this is we're going to use the unitary method where we find out what 1% is and then we multiply up. So we're going to divide to get 1%, we're going to multiply to get 21%. So 1%, we just need to divide 625 by 121. We get this long number here. Now, I'm not going to round this off just yet. I'm going to write 5.165, and I'm going to write dot, 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 which means that there's more to it there, but I'm not going to write the whole screen out. I'm just going to write dot, dot, dot. I'm going to leave that in my calculator, which means that 21% is this answer. So I'm not rounding it. I just get answer times 21. And then we get our answer. We can round off to the nearest dollar now. So 21% is going to be $108.47. Okay, so we divide to get 1% and then multiply to get whatever percentage we're trying to find. In this case, we're trying to find what 21% was. Okay, part B, that was part A. Germany. So in Germany, they have a 19% VAT rate. So that means 119% equals 625. We want to find what 1% is. So we divide 625 by 119 and we get 5.252 dot, dot, dot. And then 19% is going to be times our answer by 19 and round to the nearest cent. So it's going to be $99.79 is what the VAT component of that price is. Okay, so again, remember, make sure that you're paying attention to whether or not the VAT is included already or if it's yet to be included. And then we go 100 and whatever, so let's say it's 119, divide by 119 and then times by 19 to get the VAT amount. If you were asked to find out what the pre-GST price or the price excluding VAT, you would have to multiply up to 100%. So find what 1% is and then multiply by 100 to find out what that whole price is. In this case, we were just finding the VAT component. All right, well, good luck with those practice questions today, and I'll see you in the next video.